G'day everybody, welcome to the new year 2023 from Dave here at Wing Chun Mind Force. I'm in my beautiful country town on a beautiful day with my lovely son Decky, who's filming, and we're out in the bus doing our bus trip, and we've just been playing a bit of basketball on this really old abandoned basketball court that nobody much uses. We come here sometimes. We're even thinking of maybe doing a bit of Highland Games practice over there if we can get away with it. So today I'm going to continue on with the thoughts of Sifu Suzanna Ho, who was my Sifu teacher back in 98 to about 2000. Somebody that highly influenced how I think about Wing Chun. And I made this little booklet with her thoughts, and I put lots of photos of her and Qigong Chu. She trained in Qigong Chu for 11 years in Hong Kong. I consider her one of the very best. So this is from her essays. She's writing about Siu Nim Dao. She says, Siu Nim Dao is the first form and the foundation of Wing Chun Kung Fu. And the whole form is performed in a stationary position with the movements in the arms only. The aim of the form, so this is really important, the aim of Siu Nim Dao form is to create a unified and relaxed body which allows the free movements of the joints together with the training of mind force, correct intention. So there's a bit in that. A unified body, and I think of that as a body without joints, but I think it's important to think about joints while you're learning. But once you get past that learning, it really becomes a jointless body and a unified body, which is what we aim to achieve in Siu Nim Dao, is to make a mind map of our whole body and always have that in our mind as we're moving, so I don't forget this arm while I'm doing something with this arm. I don't forget these while I'm doing this. And whatever you're doing, you're always connected, unified, one body. So she says a unified and relaxed body, which is what we call Feng Sung. Let go of tension, don't use force, empty of tension, just be natural. One of the best ways, people often say, how do I Feng Sung? Well, I say, well, just stand as if you're standing waiting for a bus, not doing Kung Fu, just be, and that's pretty much Feng Sung. If you're in a relaxed state of mind, and there's deeper states of that, but that's a starting point. Just stand as if you're doing nothing much. And she says a unified and relaxed body allows the free movements of the joints together with the training of mind force. And then in brackets she says correct intention. So this is a huge clue. The training of the mind force, Nim Lik, the power Lik that comes from the Nim Dao, the sort of centered in the rear of the brain, but it's the mind of the body. It's the subconscious mind, the unconscious, the superconscious. We train that mind force to have correct intention, and this really translates in Chinese to Yi. Yi is intent or intention. Qigong talked about Yi Sik. Sifu Mark Ho in Sheffield in England from Sung Wing Chun told me about this, and he's got some videos I've talked about in the past. He's another great Ho. Must be a good name to have to be good at Wing Chun, either surname Ho or first name Tony. It's a bit of a long-term joke, but that's what I believe. I think Tony Ho is the best Wing Chun name. Anyway, yeah, so correct intention is keeping that mind map of the whole body going all the time. Doesn't matter what you're doing. This arm's coming out like that, but I don't forget the rest of my body. I'm coming out like that, but I can still mentally feel the soles of my feet and the top of my head, and I'm linked from that Tai Gong idea I talk about, not nipping your bum hole, but floating, the pelvis floating as if you're a ball on water, your legs just hanging underneath, tiptoeing on the rocks under the water. Your body's a unified thing floating there. That's all, you know, correct intention. That's Yi Sik, the Yi method. So, the next thing she says, this form practices, number one, the stance. That's what I'm talking about today. Yi Ji Kim Yang Ma, right? And loosely translated, sheep grabbing or goat grabbing stance. Developing a free, relaxed and unified structure and concentrating the force of impact at the center line or to a point through back straight and Tai Gong. So she has that bit at the extra, you know, it's part of it. Your back's never actually straight because your spine's like a double S, but it's a straight idea. It's up above your head and you're floating there and you're just this straight line. So this free, relaxed and unified structure, floating, soft, natural, relaxed, unified, moving naturally as if you're not fighting. She says, it concentrates the force of impact at the center line or to a point on the other guy. So now I will demonstrate what I talked about last week with these red dots. So I just, in your, whoops, one of them went free. In your Kwoon, wherever you train, actual training school or in your garage or your bathroom, whatever, just get a red dot and put it on something, you know, a mirror, a glass, whatever. So if you just come around here, there. Okay, so the stance, unfortunately, it has a lot of baggage to it. It sounds like this. A lot of people do this. They bend right down. They bring their knees right in. It's a sort of using the structure of the body, like the physical structure, to make a triangle, which is a very strong shape. I don't agree with that. I agree with your toes slightly pointing in, or the feeling of that, just slightly, not turned right in, but just a little bit in. This is what's really important, is where what your mind's doing. So you just stand free floating, and as I do the form, my mind is touching that red dot. Right? My mind just stays on there. I feel as if I'm reaching out and touching that red dot. Now you won't feel it at first if you're a beginner, but with time you will. You'll start to feel a connection to that. So be pleased when you feel a connection. Eventually you want to be able to move in Chum Kyu, the dummy, and you still feel like you're touching it with your mind. It's sort of like that, like you're touching it with your finger. That can actually help sometimes, just touching it with your finger. Sort of, you know, doing that Yi thing, but bringing your mind into this. And this simple little thing is the start of being able to put your mind into the pole, into inanimate objects, being able to put it into the dummy. Some people consider this impossible, but it's absolutely possible. And it's absolutely a part of Wing Chun from the very start. So when we start off doing Siu Nim Dao, as beginners, we have to learn what we do, you know, how we start off. We sort of measure it out as we're about shoulder length apart. You know, all the things that we do, these things are important, but once you've done it many, many times, you don't really have to think about it. And that's once you can go through the form without thinking about it, that's when you really start to concentrate on this and do the form on a mirror. But it's also important to do it away from a mirror. You don't always see yourself. You just want to sort of hypnotize yourself almost, like look at that dot, keep your mind on that, and just go through the form without thinking about what you're doing. Just let your body go through the form. So whatever you're doing, my mind's just on that. eventually you'll start to get the feeling, or you might, that what you're doing out here is actually affecting that. That's what you want, and that's where we get to with the dummy. We might seem to be going sideways, but our mind's on that, and we're actually attacking that. Same as if somebody's punching at me, I don't think about their arm. I'm on that. I'm crushing that point, that spine, that their structure, or could be the center line, but generally you get your mind on a point and you're just crushing that. So it's an empty idea. All right, so I'll stop there. I could get really excited and go on and on about this, but please have a go at it. These little red dots are easy to get. Thanks for your time. I wish you a very happy, prosperous, healthy Wing Chun New Year 2023. It's going to be a good one for all of us. Look forward to my videos. Make sure you follow me on Facebook, Wing Chun Mind Force. Follow me on YouTube, Wing Chun Mind Force. Follow me on Instagram, Wing Chun Mind Force. Please comment, talk to me as much as you want. I always try to answer everybody as quick as I can. And if you get in early before I've got too many followers to be able to answer, this is the time to pick my brains. Seminar coming up too. I'll tell you about that very soon. See you later.